Lost in all the excitement of all the moves the Hornets made yesterday was that Charles Lee coached his first game for Charlotte. Well, granted, it was a summer league game, but it was still a win, and seeing that the Hornets only had 21 of those last year, I think he'll take it. This is how it is going to work. Gabe and Casey are teaming up. The question here is, should the Hornets trade LaMelo Ball? They're going to say no. Joey, he's going to say yes. I'm going to be the judge. That's why I have the hammer here.
They just had the dryers on the track. I'm not hearing any noise. I'm hearing music. So that's a good sign, as there are still a lot of fans here.
Engstrom derrière le filet s'est fait prendre. Attention devant, on est libre et le but!
All right, so my French isn't great, but I think he just said goal for the Checkers.
Key number 3 has got to be, you know it, be special on special teams. Out for a lot of these guys, it's the only way they're going to make this team.
You're a guy that has done everything in this sport. Why does a third place finish bring tears to your eyes?
I never dreamed of being a car owner.
You're about to enter another dimension. It's one of touchdowns and blitz top plays. You're moving into a land of both grass and sometimes artificial turf. You've just crossed over into the high school football highlight zone.
It's a shoe. That's all it is, right? To some, sure, but not Michael Griffin.
Sneakers tell the story of your life. Every little scuff, every mark on them is the journey you've taken through life.
This pair has got quite the tale. A real rags to riches story. It's how one Charlotte man literally started from the bottom to become a sneaker king.
My whole thing was other people didn't believe in me, so I was like, well, I don't believe in myself.
It was 2020, and life had hit the 31-year-old hard. He was living with his dad and not quite sure of his purpose. Then one day began thinking about what he was passionate about, and it all came back to shoes.
It's a true expression of who you are.
But what happens when wearing a pair of Nikes just isn't good enough? Griffin wanted to do something more. He wanted to make the shoe pop.
Being able to do custom, you can make something that's truly you.
A great idea in theory, if he had the art materials and an actual art background, 2 things Griffin severely lacked. What he did have, however, was a stimulus check and a woman who believed in him.
He is very determined. If he says he's going to make something happen, he always makes it happen, no matter what.
And so the two set out on making the impossible happen. Money was tough to come by, but that didn't stop Griffin from becoming a master of his craft.
It's not going to happen overnight, so I just got it in my mind that this is something I wanted.
Before long, Griffin got pretty good. However, he still needed a break. Then one day, just prior to the start of the 2022 season, opportunity came calling.
I got in front of Brian Burns and got his shoe size and told him I wasn't trying to make a sale, that I wanted to get my work out there, and I bet on myself. And that truly is what changed our life. It worked.
Burns liked what he saw. He became a client, and soon a lot of his teammates did too.
Laviska Chenault Jr., Derek Brown, Frankie Luvo, Xavier Woods, Chuba Hubbard.
The names keep on coming, but Griffin isn't running low on ideas.
This one, worn by Adam Thielen on Christmas Eve, is based on The Grinch. It has TVs in it. Adam could have technically watched clips from the movie during timeouts.
Crazy?
It depends on who you ask. I personally how cool.
They're definitely unique. But then again, so is the pair Griffin tossed up on the power line the day he and his wife opened up their custom shoe store last summer.
We're chasing a dream. We're working hard, and that's what it comes down to.
It's quite a story, and it's only getting started.
Yeah, please don't go to sleep. Welcome to this action-packed hour-long edition of Charlotte Sports Live. Along with that man right there, Gabe McDonald, I'm Mike Lacett. We'll get to the Panthers and a bunch of college football, but first, some scores had to be settled. It's the rematch between the Hornets and the Celtics. Boston got better Charlotte last night at Spectrum Center. That's the same place where this one went down, and early on it looked like the result would be identical. End of the first, Jason Tatum, woohoo!
It's a good player.
The buzzer, he's pretty good. He had 13 in the quarter. Celtics up 14 after 1. Hornets, though, had an ace in the hole. His name is Brandon Miller. He was back for the first time since the opener. The second quarter, wicked step-back move. Wicked, that's what they say in Boston. He finished with 16, but it was not his best shooting night. Just 3 of 9 from deep, 6 of 18 from the floor. Good news is he appeared injury-free. Also, fortunately for Charlotte, LaMelo Ball was there to pick up the slack. Fourth quarter, he hits a humongous 3. That cut the Boston lead to 7, but once again, the comeback was denied. Tatum, too good, too fast, too strong. He had 29 points in 34 minutes. Celtics do it to the Hornets again. They win this one 113-103.
That's just great football, and so I'm really proud of him for, just playing with the kind of effort that we were expecting from him.
Man, it sounds like Panthers rookie Nick Scorton made a real good impression in his first ever preseason game. In the loss to the Browns, he finished with 2 tackles. However, it was the play in which he didn't get the hit that had everyone talking. We're going to pull it up right here. It was in the second quarter with the Browns driving. Their rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, tried to make his move. There you see number 11, Scorton, cuts him off. Sanders going to come back the other way. He thinks he's seen the last of Scorton. Football field, 160 feet wide. In 6 seconds, Scorton turned on a dime, came back the other way, and was able to force him out. And that leads the question of who's to blame for the situation. Last year, we thought it was the training staff. If you recall, they couldn't keep guys like LaMelo Ball healthy. Well, as it turns out, we might have been too quick to judge. The Hornets cleanhouse brought in a new set of trainers, and lo and behold, Melo still isn't playing. So now what? Is the team finally ready to embrace the fact that Ball was a bust? Not a chance. Remember last summer when Jeff Peterson says this was not going to be a quick fix? He was not lying. He knew last year's draft class was a bust, hence why they rolled the dice and went with Tijon Salam. This year's draft class is a different story. You like watching Cooper Flagg play? I'm willing to bet you'd like watching him more at the Spectrum Center. And so would Charles Lee, Jeff Peterson, and for that matter, anyone who has a say within the franchise. That's why, dare I say, the Hornets aren't sweating their struggles. I'm not saying they want to lose, but I'm not saying they don't. They're taking a chance, and who knows, come this draft in June, it might actually pay off.
For the ball game this evening.
By 1995, the NBA had a bit of a pinstripe obsession.
It was something that not only transcended from the sport, but also a lifestyle.
Taking a page from the Yankees, Michael Jordan and the Bulls got them.
It's a nice-looking jersey, Johnny.
The Magic did too.
It reminds me of that old-school classic.
And fresh off back-to-back championships, so did the Houston Rockets.
And you see the new uniforms.
Meanwhile, watching from afar, the person who started it all could only shake his head.
They say that emulation is the sincerest form of flattery, but sometimes it's aggravating.
In basketball, Alexander Julian never set out to be a trendsetter. By the mid-1980s, the Chapel Hill native was an accomplished fashion designer, building an empire based on the principles set forth by his mom and dad, dubbed by the New York Times as the grandparents of preppy. But Julian also liked a challenge.
That was my first question to George was, what's the name of the team?
At the time, George Shinn didn't have a lot of answers. But what he did know is that he wanted Julian to design the uniforms of the team he owned, the one that would come to be known as the Hornets.
I said, George, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you a deal. I'm going to trade you ownership of the Hornets uniforms for 5 pounds of Carolina barbecue a month, FedEx to me in Connecticut. I remember hanging up the phone after we agreed and going, well, this is going to be interesting.
That's because Julian was already thinking of an idea that would shake the NBA fashion world to its core.
What essentially a basketball jersey is a knit shirt. And the knit shirts that I was famous for were vertical striped knits.
So ultimately, it was pulled pork for pinstripes. But there was more.
The shorts were the first pleated basketball shorts in history.
And did we mention the color?
Everything in Charlotte became teal. There's still a lot of teal there now.
Good evening, everybody.
On the court, there was a lot to be desired.
Left hands it up and in.
But as far as uniforms go, Charlotte had a winner.
It gave you everything you could ask for.
Pretty good scene.
Yet as it turned out, someone wanted something else.
Having Dean Smith on the phone asking me for new Tar Heels uniforms was like having God on the phone asking for new halos for the Archangels.
Impressed by Julian's work, North Carolina's legendary coach wanted to update his team's look.
If I screwed it up, I couldn't go home.
This time around, Julian decided to go a different route.
I think the Argyle is more different than anything else visually in college sports. Nobody has anything like it. It's an instant get visually when you see it, and it's timeless.
And just like Julian's pinstripes,
It was a great design.
it's now a part of Carolina sports history.
I felt a little bit like Dr. Frankenstein.
He created a monster, all right, not to mention one incredible legacy.